being off, so let's try this again. Hi, Internet. My name's Jane, and welcome to Jane Plays Games. This is my very first podcast, so bear with me. And I guess proper introductions are in order, so I'll start with that. I'm Jane. I'm your friendly neighborhood nerdy noob, and when I say noob, I mean noob. The last time I really sat down to play a video game, Halo 2 was the best thing since sliced bread. I guess the best way to describe my experience with nerd and gaming culture is sort of nerd adjacent. I've always been around it, never fully committed. Until now. I noticed pretty early on in my quest to kind of get back into gaming that I wasn't really hearing a lot of voices like mine in podcasts and on YouTube channels. No unintimidating newbies and very few women kind of sharing their experiences. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to fill that void. You're welcome. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. And this is what I've been playing lately. So, I'm going to start off with my number one time suck lately, and that has been Duelist. It's free to play on Steam and a shit ton of fun. It's a turn-based strategy game, and to me, it's what would happen if Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering had a baby. I've never played Hearthstone, but my boyfriend says it reminds him of that, and if you're into that sort of thing, I don't know. I am loving it for a lot of reasons, but to name a few, number one, I have time to think. I think this game is awesome for beginners or people wanting to get into gaming for the first time because unlike, let's say, Overwatch or any other real-time sort of online game, where you're still learning controls and you're still figuring out like what the hell you're doing, and you have to make these split-based, very precise, accurate decisions. It's intimidating when I'm still aiming at the ground. What's great about Duelist is it gives you time to look at your characters, figure out their abilities, figure out where you want to move them, kind of plan ahead before your opponent makes their next move. So I actually get something done, and I'm not just spinning around in circles. I spend a lot more time playing and a lot less time button mashing and panicking the whole time. Another thing that I like is that the matches are super quick. I get bored real easy. So after 10 to 15 minutes, the game is pretty much wrapping up, which is always a plus for me. I'm always doing something new. I think, though, my favorite thing about Duelist has definitely the fact that I feel like I'm accomplishing something. So I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege with a bunch of my friends, which I'll talk about here in a minute, but I spend 92% of my time dead or dying, and it gets depressing, especially since the people I'm playing with are so much better at it than me. And I'm actually kind of good at Duelist, and that just makes me want to play more. The only thing I'm super not into are the microtransactions. Now, you can buy like rare card packs with some pretty game-ending characters, and being the broke bitch that I am, this can get pretty frustrating to play against online. Also, I'm not super good at deck building yet. It's like a collectible card game, and I haven't quite figured out how to master that. So if you have any tips on deck building, or if you're familiar with Duelist, please leave your suggestions down below. Help me get good. The only other PC game that I've dabbled in recently is Overwatch, and I'm so bad at it, it hurts, but I really don't care. I'm a sucker for lovable characters and intense lore, and Overwatch definitely delivers. I've been playing as Zara and Soldier 76 lately, mostly because they're the only twos, whose abilities and ultimates I like fully understand, but I'm having a lot of fun. For me, playing on PC anyway, it's a lot to remember control-wise, but it's a goofy enough game that dying isn't the absolute end of the world, and the practice rounds against the AIs offer a really easy way for me to just kind of fool around with it, play with different characters, different approaches, get used to the controls. It's not a game I see myself playing a lot of solo, but with friends, it's amazing. I didn't really understand the hype, when Overwatch was first coming out. It just kind of looked silly to me, but it's a cool little community, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to play a bit more. Moving on to console games, like I said, I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege with my boyfriend and our friends, and with this experiment in gaming culture, I kind of wanted to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. I used to play a lot of, I guess for lack of a better term, girl-friendly games, a lot of RPGs. So an intense, unforgiving shooter like Siege was a huge step into very, very unknown territory. And when I say unforgiving, I mean it. Like I said, I spend 92% of my time dead or dying, but that other 8% where I'm actually fighting terrorism is super fucking fun. The best advice I guess I have for newbies wanting to give this a shot is use your shotgun. I really like that because it kind of offers me a bit more control, and since I'm not the best technically gifted player, it gives me some wiggle room so I can still dole out some damage. And me personally, I've been playing a lot as a rook, just because if you're anything like me and you're dying within the first 90 seconds of a round, his like ultimate or special ability, whatever you want to call it, I'm not hip with the lingo, is dropping body armor. So if that's all you do with your 90 seconds, at least you'd help your team a little bit. So I feel a little useful. Some other things I picked up Ori and the Blind Forest, which is heart-wrenching and adorable and probably one of the most beautiful and art-driven games I've seen in a long time, and actually just finished The Wolf Among Us. And if you've never played a Telltale game before, fix that. And if you've never read any of the Fables comics by Bill Willingham, fix that too. Basically, imagine all your favorite fairy tales, but in gritty, crime-ridden, existential crisis-y New York. It is amazing. By far, though, my favorite game that I picked up is actually one I picked up, like last night, and that's Destiny 2. Oh my god. Lots of explosions, absolutely gorgeous design, and for the most part, I can die however many times I damn well please without suffering any major consequences. Now, there are some areas that, respawning is restricted and I'll have to start at my last checkpoint, but it makes for a really fun challenge. Destiny is really everything I love in a video game. It's an amazing story, great design. It's challenging, but it's not impossible gameplay, and it's just a really good time. I found myself saying, no, wait, 5 more minutes, well into the night. I'm not much into gaming politics, so I'm not too bothered by the fuss over the microtransactions, nor do I really know a whole lot about it. All I know is that it's a really, really fun, beautiful game, and I'm really enjoying it. I definitely see myself spending a lot of time on it. Now, this being my very first podcast, I definitely wanted to do something a little bit special for you guys. And being as type A as I am, I wanted to do something really big. So I've been looking at a lot of games coming out this year so I can kind of know what to look forward to and always kind of stay excited for new content. And one title that kept popping up on, I found them on Kotaku and then opened the floodgate into this universe, was this title called Dark. And it's a PC game coming out this year, and it's the debut release for Unfold Games. And I'm fucking stoked. So Dark follows the protagonist, Lloyd, through a terrifying lucid nightmare world where up is down, down is up, shit is scary, and gravity doesn't always matter. The game design is darkly whimsical, eerily elegant, and the soundtrack, from what I've heard and the teasers, is absolutely haunting. Dark is keep you up at night scary without being cheesy or grotesque, and I was lucky enough to interview Vlad Marlitz. Vlad, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. I totally feel like I am, but he was kind enough to answer some questions for me. That's something I found just reading and absolutely stalking the Unfold Games website and the Dark website. Something I found really interesting was that this game is completely dialogue free. Save for some dream noises and breathing and grunting and dream sounds, there's no active dialogue, which I found was a really interesting choice for such a strange little world. And so I asked him about that decision, whether that kind of developed organically, it was something that he planned all along, kind of where his mind was at. I kind of just like picking people's great brains for, their big ideas. And I wanted to know a little bit more about that decision. And Vlad says that he made that decision really early on, Since Dark is set in a dream world, it seemed redundant to have Lloyd comment on all the strangeness. He'd rather have the player interpret the world directly, not by Lloyd's reactions. Vlad's also an accomplished film composer, and when asked what inspired the Dark Universe, he said he was heavily influenced by The Shining, Pan's Labyrinth, Edward Scissorhands, Inception. The game is beautiful from even just what I've seen in the trailers, and I'm totally seeing the inspiration here. It's going to be really, really cool. Now, if you've never heard of Dark or Unfold, I'll link their site down below. You should definitely check them out. I'm really excited to see this kind of new brand of psychological horror emerge, and I cannot wait to see what else Unfold has in store for us, because I did ask him about his future projects, because I just felt like that's definitely a question you should ask for someone coming out with a debut game. And he says he's definitely fleshing out some new and exciting ideas that are going to be completely different from the Dark Universe, which is definitely cool for me. I'm excited to see what kind of weirdness he comes up with next, because guys, just check out the trailer. It's really, really cool, and I'm excited to see what he's got in store for us next. And with that, that's actually where I think I'm going to end today. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope it was as weird for you as it was for me. Let me know what you're playing. This week, I'm definitely going to be sinking a lot more time into Destiny 2, and I'm actually going to pick up Total Warhammer 2 as well. So let me know if you've played before. Maybe we'll play together. Definitely check us out on all of our social media. I'm posting them all below. That's where we'll be posting stream dates and any other happening in the Jane Plays Games universe. So definitely be sure to follow us if you are not. Huge thank you to Vlad Marlitz, who took the time to talk to a little nobody like me. Didn't have to do that. I told him up front, I was like, dude, this is a brand new project. You want to talk? And he was like, yeah, super nice guy. So thank you. I can't wait for Dark. I hope you can't wait either. With that being said, this is Jane. This has been Jane Plays Games, and insert clever sign off here.